What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I do TikTok on the video, and we're just gonna hop right into it. So today we'll be doing a kind of update on the Sayso piece Sauce Walker shooting. So if you had, obviously been, I say this every video, but if you've been under a rock, the last about week and a half, well, Say So P is Sauce Walker's artist. I wasn't too familiar with Say So P before this instant too, so if you're not, don't look too crazy. But Sauce Walker's been famous for a lot of things. Music. Not too long ago he was going viral for this old gorgeous dog clip he had, but but yeah, Sauce Walker, you know who Sauce Walker is, but as you probably seen about like I said a week and a half ago, some people end up shooting and killing Say So P outside the W right across the street from the FedEx Forum in Memphis. They shot Sauce Walker in the leg, and they didn't end up hitting the other person they were with. But RP Say So P and Say So P for that. Obviously, well, it looks like Sauce Walker recovered well. He's doing interviews and stuff, but obviously we don't want him to get shot and things of that sort. So hoping the best for him as well. But soon after after this ended up happening, there was actually footage released from the crime scene of a white charger pulling up and the people getting out and doing it. Now obviously at the time when they're doing it, it's messed up, but just like a normal crime investigation, especially with a car that you can track with a license plate and things of this sort, they were following them around, forever. Well, not following them, but obviously they used the cameras to follow them around. They end up using the cameras following them around. That one of the guys actually ended up taking his mask off, and he was able to be easily identified early this week. And he was identified as 21-year-old Jayden Dendrige. Now, originally, Jayden Dendrige, let me pull up his charges. Now, originally, Jayden Dendrige had a warrant for one count of first-degree murder, two counts of attempted first-degree murder, which would be Sauce Walker and the guy's name Simon, two counts of employment of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony, and an auto theft. So, I would assume they probably stole. That probably was a striker they was in, but you ain't get out of it fast enough. But anyway, so I say all this to say that Jayden Dendrige, the guy I just read about with all those charges, and I'll put. Well, I don't think I obviously probably can't put the actual filming of the shooting, but I'll put some of the cameras and angles that they caught him on.
Jayden Dendrige as the shooting suspect. A warrant has been issued for Dendrige's arrest.
Has actually been found dead in Houston. Now, that is very interesting because if obviously Sauce Walker's from Houston. Say So P is obviously from Memphis. That's why he died at home. Obviously, so reportedly, not well, it's not actually been. This is more street word of mouth that he ran off on somebody for 200K, and which is why they came after him. But we like I said in my last video, we probably never know the actual extent of that part of it. But yeah, Jayden Dendrige has been found dead in Houston, Texas. So that's a interesting thing. Especially it's very interesting after, if y'all hadn't seen, Sauce Walker was on the interview a couple days ago, obviously talking about this, and he said that he could have 300 and 400 men march behind that, but basically he was just saying like Say So P was his own man, so he had his own debts and things to own up to, and whatever came from that, he just had to really accept the decision. That's what he was saying.
If I wanted to, I could have motherfucking 400-500 different men, good men down here from different cities and states, including mine, around here ready to do whatever by snapping my finger in retaliation to what happened to me and my little brother. But as much as it hurt my soul and it really break me down, I'm damn near getting emotional right now thinking about the shit that I can't retaliate because that's not righteous. Because my brother had his own dealings as a man that a nigga gotta respect, and a motherfucker had the opportunity to make me 100% accountable for the same thing that they felt, whatever the situation is. Because I still don't know what the situation is with my brother, but whatever it was, that could have held me the same level of accountable that they did him and took my life for no reason the same way. Whatever that his is taken for. So at the end of the day, I gotta be a man and be an honorable gangster and respect the fact that I put myself in a place where I wasn't supposed to be standing and sitting there. But as a gangster and as a brother, I'ma stand next to my brother no matter whatever this nigga got going on or whatever his personal beefs or problems.
But somebody end up, a suspect end up dead, a couple days later. It's not the best thing for you. Also, they have identified a second suspect as Kevin Brown, who has obviously been charged with the same charges of first degree murder, 2 attempts of second degree commission of a firearm. Now, we have all type of surveillance of Jayden Dendrige. It's kind of hard to pull up a it's not really pictures out there of Kevin Brown at the moment. So if I end up finding one between now and when I'm editing, I'll put it in here for y'all. But not having the best, easiest time finding Kevin Brown. But that's the second suspect who has been charged, or is a warrant, I should say, out for his arrest. Now, that's really the gist of the whole situation today. What I wanted to get into is, I guess, kind of a conspiracy. Well, I don't think it's a conspiracy. Like, what do y'all think happened to Jayden? And it's a lot to think about for the simple fact what makes it so conflicted is how did he end up in Houston? Now, I would assume, after you commit a crime of this, especially on camera, and as televised as this one was, you would, move not move out the city, but you wouldn't be in town for a while, which I understand completely why he wasn't in Memphis. My concern and questioning starts with why did you go to Houston? Of all places. Now, obviously we might learn the backstory soon, or we might not. But maybe he had some family and relatives in Houston. Maybe this might have been the only place he could have went. But Houston, when you know that the person you killed is signed to, the one who actually, the one with even more money than the person you went after, is from Houston, and he has some type of, at least some type of like street clout that he can, get people to do stuff, or he has the money actually to just hire people to do this. I just don't understand exactly why you would be in Houston. That's where my one thing is at. Now, I seen a couple conspiracy theories. One covered saying that they think. Now, one said they think he did it to himself. I don't believe that, but another one says that they believe his own people did that to him because, as y'all gonna see from the footage, he is the only one without his mask on. He's the only one that you can clearly identify. We've seen so much footage of him just going around. We got pictures of him in a store. We got pictures of him outside the whip. We got now. I don't know why he took his mask off so soon, cause I guess it don't fucking matter now. But I don't know why he did that shit. But it's really because he was a loose end. He was the only one that could talk to, and at the moment, the police hadn't put out that the other person they had identified another person, so they had only identified one person, and your face is the only one out there, and you already on the one run because you're not in Memphis, and you got a boatload of crimes, and I seen this. I don't know how the person pulled it up, but I'm gonna try to find a screenshot off their thing. They pulled up. He really didn't have a criminal record before this. The only violation he had was some type of like traffic violation, like speeding or something. It wasn't even nothing crazy. So somebody who's not really used to jail and things like that, I could get the method, but basically that theory is basically to prevent him from snitching, and that theory makes a lot of sense to me. Like I said, just because he was really the loose end of the scenario, especially when they didn't know that they had identified another person already, especially with his face being out there and things. So that makes sense. Now, obviously the most obvious, theory to this is that Sauce Walker and his people got them, especially it being in Houston. That's what makes it weird. My thing is he if he was in Houston, like I said, trying to get away family, and what from what I've heard about Sauce Walker is very connected and things like this. So it wouldn't have been hard for Sauce Walker to get this information on Buddy and for this to happen. So, and that's really the most obvious thing. But I don't want to put that smut on him because obviously they throwing these Ricos and indictments around like the flu, like a new pair of draws. So I don't want to put that on him. That's the most obvious theory, but it's a great possibility as well. Those two theories obviously have the greatest possibility, and I think one of those actually happened. Now, as what I said one of those happened. What I actually think happened, I do think it's the latter. I do think Sauce Walker and them caught up to him. I just I just have a hard time. I don't want to say it like this. I have a hard time of thinking some street criminals is thinking that far ahead where they're like he's the only loose end, which I like I said is very intelligent. I just have a hard time thinking that they was thinking like that, as well as the Houston thing. Like the Houston thing could be them doing it as a distract, like kind of thing, like trying to flip it on Sauce and them to make it obvious. But my thinking now is what just popped in my head. So if Sayso P ran off on, if this whole theory of him running off on 200,000 is correct, I I feel like the people that are being indicted and things like that, they were hired by the person. Because if you got 200,000 to run off with, you probably have more than 200,000. So you probably are a nigga who's really out here getting money in the streets. So I would think that if you worth that much money, you probably don't want to get your own hands dirty. So I'm thinking he hired these people. So that's what hire go more towards the first theory of the own people got him, just because if he was hired, that brings even more and more people to it. And we know with criminal cases, stuff like this, they obviously want the shooter, but they want the mastermind more. So that concerns me. I feel like it could be a possibility of things. We'll probably find more out in the future. We don't know, but the police is not giving a lot of details about how he like the cause of death and things. So, like I said, we'll find more stuff out in the future. RP say so. P. I hope Sauce Walker doesn't get in any trouble for this, cause don't want to see no more black men in jail. But yeah, it's a crazy situation though. But what do y'all think end up happening? Just let me know in the comments. So like, share, subscribe, comment, IG, TikTok, on the video, and we out.